What's up, everybody? Clinton Foshee here, and
I'm Albert Chavez.
And this is Front Porch Chronicles. And we've got a repeat offender coming to the front porch this week. Richie Machete Miranda, coming off a hot win a couple of weeks ago. You know what I was thinking about? We didn't talk about this last time. How did you get the nickname El Machete?
So my first MMA coach, he said I sound like Danny Trejo. So he's like, yo, I think your nickname should be El Machete.
That's so funny.
First MMA fight, I put it down, and you know it's
stuck.
sticking. Yeah, it's
Stuck with you.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Take him to the zone. Take him to the zone. That's funny. Have you seen any of the movies?
I seen some.
Yeah.
Mostly like his old ones, like Blood in Blood Out.
Yeah.
Stuff like
the
that.
new one wasn't good.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was cheesy.
Not so much, and like Spy Kids, I know he came out in that one, but none of the new ones really.
I was kind of salty. You saw he got knocked out.
Yeah.
I
Then he had a skirmish. Was it in LA?
Yeah, I think he lives there because he's got a couple of restaurants and stuff there too. I've always wanted to try. He's got Trejo's Tacos, and some other stuff too.
About it.
Yeah, it's sad. He's
He's
old.
like 70.
Yeah.
How old is he now?
He's older. Yeah, I don't know, but he's a legend in the making. So we know you're coming off an electric victory out here, not too far away in SoCal up in LA at Commerce Casino. How was it being so close to home? Was it nice?
Yeah, it was nice. You know, I haven't fought here since 2022. And it was for LFA as well.
Yeah.
At Commerce Casino. So it was nice to come back and have that my home crowd, my family there. So I had quite a bit of people there, so it was loud, you know.
Cool. I mean, you need it for those promotions too, to feel that electricity and stuff like that too. Can you walk us through what happened? You're kind of explaining a little bit, but just for the viewers, that how did it go? Like, did it go according to plan?
No, for the most part it did. First round, I pretty much dominated the first round. Second round, he was able to catch me to some body shots and hit me a little bit more, but I was still, putting the pressure on him and trying to take him down. He stuffed all the takedowns, but, got my shots in, hit a couple spinning back fists. Those were new, And then third round again, we just scrapped and, I was able to get it to the ground and finish on the ground and even threw a head kick. But it was a fun scrap for sure.
How you throw a head kick? 6'6". He was like
Towering over you.
Bro, I saw it and I was like, this dude looks like Manute Bol, the white version. I was like, he's like 15 foot tall.
Yeah. I just, it was just instinct. I just threw it and, they got his reaction and, kept striking after that. And like I said, I ended up on top and I think that, all judges gave it to me. So I won every
Clearly you did enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it
Was there something that you guys saw over time that your coaches were kind of working through to do it, or was it just instinct at that point?
No, it was just instinct, The main game plan was to take him down and or use my takedowns to strike even if you broke away. So we pretty much did the game plan like how we prepared.
Yeah, it makes it easier that way too.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Well, I'm sure it helps. I know when we had you on last time, you had just kind of switched over to Bloodline. So kind of going into that, I know you know him, Danny Silva, for a long time, but with Dan, Chris, Cub, all of those guys, how was it going into the fight kind of with their knowledge base and kind of helping you out with that? How did that make a difference or an impact on your preparation?
I think the main thing that I learned a lot from him was overtraining and but also just, of course, in my striking, I've leveled up a little bit. And then, mainly thing was overtraining, learning when to pull back, when to recover, when to pull back so you can perform on certain days. But other than that, I have great people in the room and there's just a wealth of knowledge, even though I won and I had a great fight. We broke it down with Cub on Monday. We worked through every position and now I have a bunch of things that I could work on,
Nice.
and that's good, because I'm always trying to evolve, always trying to add new weapons to my game. And I can't wait to show it again.
The overtraining is a big thing. And it's crazy because training and stuff like that, we always have been taught the more that I do,
do more,
the better that I'm getting in our minds. But that's actually not the truth, because at times with overtraining, overusage, you get extra injuries, extra things. So that's really big to dial that in and know, as they say, know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And knowing when to kind of pull back with that.
So that was one of the main ones. But just, training, like I said, I was able to see how Cub did his camp, and I was able to implement the stuff that I needed, and I'm always sharpening up my boxing, my jiu-jitsu, my wrestling, just putting it all together, trying to max each one, like the UFC game, it has like 90, 95 or whatever in striking. So I'm always trying to just
level up
that
all the way. Well, it probably is easier now, because last time you were only there for a couple months, so now you get more comfortable with the guys. They see, and then it just takes time just to see what type of game you have. Everyone sees the film, but you see the training behind the scenes too, and that's when you earn more respect with everyone too. So it seems like you're more comfortable with them.
And it's cool because we all have a say. If I like something, or if I bring something to the table, I'm able to present it, and we all work together, and just trying to help each other out, get better. You
need that type of energy when it's going tough and stuff like that too. So what I was curious specifically, what's the biggest difference that you've noticed just from transitioning to Bloodline specifically compared to the other communities that you've been around or training?
I mean, just good people, good people. Monty, Cub, all my training partners. We look out for each other, and I think just the mindset too, like all my training partners are mostly in the UFC or we're close. Like me and my teammate Jacob Rosales too, he's fighting soon. He moved over with me as well. We both moved at the same time, and we're just trying to get better, putting in work, and it's showing. So I mean, Doug won the titles, so that was beautiful, beautiful knockout, and
it's epic.
Exactly. I know we're both close to that UFC call, so we just need somebody to slip on a banana peel.
I know.
Give us a call, like,
you're right there.
We're ready.
So I know everyone wants to know what's next for Richie Miranda up here. Is there there's the desire for the call, but is there any momentum going forward? I know it's only been a couple of weeks, but what are you looking forward to right now?
Right now, just staying ready. If the LFA title presents itself, I mean, we'll probably take it for sure. But I mean, I'm hoping either I get a contender series call short notice, or just a short notice fight in the UFC. I got fight of the night, so that was cool, and I can't wait to get some fight of the nights in the UFC. I think my style shows that, and I get the people excited, and I don't know, man. Once I'm in there, it's just I let loose, and I just I bring the pressure to them, and I try to finish any way I can.
Right.
It's awesome seeing your energy, because you're so stoic, and you're so you have this very calming aura about yourself, and then watching you fight is the complete, it's like red rum, it's like the switch flip, so it's super cool. So are you looking, you didn't take any damage, are you looking to, speaking of that, are you looking to take any more fights before the end of the year? Or are you just on call and down, ready to go whenever? How does that?
So I mean, I definitely want to fight again this year, and anything that presents itself. But I'm just staying ready right now, and I mean, I usually fight 3 times a year. Last year I fought twice, so I'm trying to get one more.
You're definitely ready though. Like you said, you didn't take any damage, so
exactly.
May as well go into it more.
Well, we wanted to dive into the mind of a rising star, and everybody wants to become a fighter. And there's undercards and promotions. Give us some insight on how you got to kind of LFA, which is a major promotion, and that. How did you kind of progress to get there, and how do you like the vibe with LFA?
Okay. So pretty much it started, I mean, I was trying to get on there for a while, but with COVID, but then finally in 2021, I fought here at Fight Club OC. Then like a month and a half later, I fought at Cage Warriors.
I got
a first round submission there. And then pretty much literally maybe like I want to say 3 weeks later, I got signed to LFA.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so pretty much from there, and then I didn't debut with LFA till April of the next year, and I fought another tough prospect, undefeated prospect from it was Sanford before, but now it's Killcliff.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, he was a little bit bigger. He was kind of dominating just because of the wrestling, even though I almost choked him out. But I ended up getting, it's probably my favorite fight because I got him in a guillotine against the cage.
Oh, let's go.
And it was literally like the third round. I was down on the scorecards for sure, even though I dropped them 2 in the first round. But I always practiced that move in practice, and I would never get it, you know? And somehow in the fight, I got it. And I was just like, yeah, it popped off. Like he shot in, I got it. I went to my back. He got on top, I got out, and then he did it again. And then once he did it again, I was like, dude,
not this time.
I was like, your neck is mine. So once he turned, I was able to just wrap around one arm, pin him against the cage, and you know, it was cool because Ed, the promoter, he was like, did you see what was on Twitter? And I was like, no. He's like, because I guess they did like a little cut of the fight, and his face was all purple, and I was like, damn, I wanted him to go to sleep, you know, I wanted him to go to sleep, but he tapped out before. But no, I love LFA. You know, LFA's been with them pretty much 7 fights already, and yeah, you know, everybody at LFA is cool. You know, Mark Berry, Ed just the whole production.
Ed Source is a really good guy. I remember him from back years ago. We visited him one time back when Lyoto Machete was ready to fight, when he was at Black House.
Okay,
and I met Ed Source. So yeah, he's a super good guy, and LFA is super competitive. It's again.
Yeah, a lot of UFC guys.
People think, oh, UFC is only, but there are some other organizations not as competitive, but LFA is ultra competitive.
Yeah, I mean, and just the level of competition, you know, like you get no easy fights with LFA.
Exactly.
And, yeah, I mean, they're the main feeder program for the UFC, you know, pretty much. I don't know how many, but a good percentage
a lot of
fighters, have gone over to UFC. So I think they do a really great job of matching styles, you know, and bringing exciting fights.
Bringing on good production,
I know we're excited. Then hopefully Dana gets the call and you go to like the contender series and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it seems like
either one,
every new week there's someone new coming up from there too. So what's the? I was curious, what was the biggest challenge for you since you become an MMA fighter? Whether it's life related or actually being in training?
Challenges, I guess just, I mean, not really, you know, I think just from wrestling taught me a lot to stay focused and confidence. And then being disciplined as well. But yeah, I guess, I mean, challenges, keep evolving, you know, not get stagnant and, you know, keep growing. But I mean, I think I'm doing a good job of that. And, you know, always trying to pick up new things, you know, whether it be from how someone is or fighting and implement it to my life.
Yeah, I feel like you guys have so much you guys have to work on. You know, like you said, you wrestled at Kearney, right? And so like you already had that structure and foundation, right? But then just expanding it to like actually striking and kicking. It's just so much that you can implement in so many small things. Like it can get overwhelming, I'm sure, at times, but also like you have those guys that have already done it. So
and then
back on that.
And then the sport is always evolving, you know, so you got to keep up with the sport, you know. You got to keep evolving as well. So
it's cool being a part of it too, since you're younger and you can see the evolution a lot quicker than the older guys that are kind of rigid in their ways. So
my tattoo artist the other day is like, do you ever like reflect on like what you've done? And I'm like, not really, but then that day I went home and thought about it, and I was like, damn, you know, like I actually never thought I was gonna fight, but somehow, you know, I'm here, you know, and it's cool to see the progression. I know. I just, you know, I'm excited for what's next to come.
For someone that's like just starting or like people are just watching, what do you think is like the biggest misconception that people have about MMA fighters in general?
I think maybe just like tough or like stuff like that, but the funny thing is when they're like, oh, you should have done this and that, I'm like, yeah, fool, I tried, you know. I tried, fool, but like, you know, I had to adjust or something, you know. But
everyone's got an opinion.
Yeah, that's always funny to me. Yeah.
Well, that's why I can never go to watch parties of events. Events because like people are like, oh my God, why don't he just get up? Ma'am.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen to me. I'm sure he would rather be getting up than catching elbows to his face and splitting him open or choked out. If he could get up, I promise you he would get up.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. How do you handle, because you've got a very calm demeanor, but how do you handle the pressure and expectations from either fans or yourself? How do you kind of deal with and cycle through that? Or is it a factor?
Yeah. I wouldn't say I really go in there with pressure or nervous. I mean, like I said, I take it back to wrestling. And then I don't know if you guys are familiar with Kyle Dake. Yeah, the wrestler. So one thing that I took from him a long time ago is he said that pressure is not real. You know, the pressure is always something you put on yourself. So he's like, if you're confident in the work you put in and everything, like you shouldn't have pressure. You know, like you're just gonna go out there and do what you do. You know, and enjoy the moment. You know, like pretty much I do my whole warm up or whatever, but I never go into the cage or to warm up in the cage. Like I want to feel it all when I do my walkout, you know, when I'm in there, like I like to feel it for the first time. So
yeah, you don't want to expect the nerves too. I feel like a lot of people get in their heads because I'm expecting there to be a lot of pressure. I'm expecting there to be a lot of noise and people aren't going to like me for that. And so you're almost anxiety ridden for the expectation that's going to come, and then you're there and it's like you already have the adrenaline pumping. Why do you need that extra external pressure? Yeah,
and then just like the crowd too, you know, like I don't really pay attention to the crowd. I'm just in there focused to do my job. And I mean, it's been paying off. So
yeah, it probably helps a lot too, wrestling at a big school too, so that way you already had like the crowds and the noise and stuff like that.
I think just competing so much, you know, like competing at big schools, competing in front of big crowds. So yeah, it's definitely just become a norm.
Do you search for that adrenaline more and more in other aspects of life? Is that why does it make it hard? Because I know you tell me about like Hoff all the time, how he chases it with other things. So I'm always curious about fighters.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll go snowboarding, you know, I'll go ride my motorcycle. So stuff like that, you know, just that gives me, or like roller coasters, you know, I'm nervous to get on them sometimes, but I like the feeling, you know. So anything that gives me an adrenaline rush, I try to do it outside of fighting as well.
That's fun. That's fun. So for someone that is just getting started in MMA, you know, you're still young, you're still working towards it, right? But you've also had great success. What advice would you give for someone to pursue a career in MMA?
Definitely, I would say, you know, figure out a gym or a coach that's really going to guide you, you know, and, you know, just focus on your striking at first and your ground and, you know, take it from there. But if you haven't competed, I feel like, definitely going to like grappling tournaments, get competition there, just so you can feel the being,
electricity.
Of just being out there, competing and working your stuff, you know, figuring out yourself and figure out your opponents. So I think that's the main one, you know, just staying disciplined and, I mean, just, you know, putting in the work. Yeah.
I think open-minded too.
Being open-minded is
because a lot of times people come into it and they're like, oh, I'm a wrestler, so I'm just going to wrestle. And it's like the game has evolved so much that sounds great in essence, but now people know how to somewhat stuff takedowns. And if you get your takedown stuffed, what's your next plan of action? And being open-minded to say, hey, I need to have a well-rounded game rather than just a one
focus,
because you might win. I mean, let's just be honest. There's people that go out and win 6, 7, 8, 9 fights in a row just off of wrestling. And they're like, well, why do I need this? Well, then when you get to the next, there's levels to the game.
Exactly.
And when you get to that next level and you go against a guy who can stuff those takedowns, what's next?
What are you going to do? So, I mean, one thing that I always write in my notebook or whatever is like, you know, white belt for life, you know, like, just like you said, keeping an open mind and taking things and see what works for you, what doesn't, you know, and implement it into your game. And just try to get better, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
I like that. It keeps you in like the student mindset. Too,
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Knowing that there's always another level to it that you can reach and stuff like that too. Can you describe, like, since you are talking about this white belt mindset, can you describe what a typical day would look like for you, Richie Miranda?
Yeah. So typically wake up, I'll hit my run, then go to hit my run at the gym, and then go to practice.
Yeah.
Go train with the guys, and then from there either go to boxing, strength, and then either train wrestling and jiu-jitsu at night.
Cool. Damn,
Yeah.
it's a lot of training.
It just depends, you know. But I'll do either 3 workouts, 2 workouts, you know, at the most, during the day.
And people don't realize like that you guys have to find recovery time in between that too. And then you guys have to eat, and then you have your social lives, and then like doing promotions and stuff like that too. There's a lot that can juggle, you know, between anything else. When someone's like, oh, you guys aren't doing the same work that I'm doing, you know, they don't understand like the full scope of what's really going on underneath the hood.
And it's a huge thing to have a partner that understands those things.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't understand from a dating standpoint, it's a happy wife, happy life, whether it's your girl, your wife, or whatever. Your girl actually is super cool. Like we had a conversation about, and she kind of like, you can tell when somebody's dialed in.
Yeah.
And it gives you peace of mind so that you're not stressed out with what's going on with everything else.
Yeah.
When you have that peace at home, it allows you to have peace with everything else.
Yeah, no, shout out to my girl, you know, she's a real one for sure, you know. She lets me do my things, and she understands like when I need my she knows my busy schedule, you know. So I mean, I only see her like 2-3 times a week, but you know, she knows that like when I'm in camp, like, all right, he needs to do his things. And like
That's super cool.
So I was curious, like, what do you love most about the sport of MMA? Everyone says that they love it until you actually go deep dive into it. And like, what keeps you motivated to go through the rigorous stuff that you have to go through every single day mentally?
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, I think I love the whole process, you know, just training, eating right, you know, learning, of course. But for me, I crave the feeling of going in there and fighting, but honestly finishing somebody is the best thing ever. So that's what I crave, you know, is that. And what was I gonna say? What was the other part again?
Just like what keeps you motivated in those times when those trials are just feeling like they're insurmountable.
So just accomplishing my goals, you know. In junior college, I wanted to become a state champion. That didn't happen. I became a 2-time All-American. Then I went to UNK, tried to become a national champion. That didn't happen. And then, you know, just trying to accomplish my goals. And first of all, get into the UFC, climb up the ranks, and then, you know, fight for a world title and become a
That'd be
world
epic.
champion. Yeah,
it's there, dude.
I love that mindset of having that, because a lot of people, when you doubt yourself, or you doubt you'll be able to do that.
Yeah, it holds them back, you know.
Well, that's where the pressure starts coming, because you're like, oh, am I good enough?
Yeah.
Oh, can I do this? And when you start having those second thoughts, it affects everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you share with us a defining moment in your life that kind of helped shape who the person is you are today?
I mean, I think I'm still going through it, you know, but I would say in junior college, you know, wrestling under my my head coach Vince Silva. I was all right in high school, but I think once I got there, just having a redshirt year and training, and just his mindset, and the confidence we built through our training sessions and all that, you know, really gave me a lot of confidence throughout that year, and it's been going on for you know, till now. Yeah, so.
You can tell you've got like the confidence and the calm, and when you have the confidence, it allows you to be calm.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So you can tell that, and so that helps a lot.
And you're that one person that actually believes in you too, and is willing to tell you like what is it that you need to do to get the next level? You know, I don't know how you grew up, but I know there were some times when everyone said I was really good, and that would sometimes get to my head, or let it get to my head, right? And then so you need someone to also be like, hey, like, you're here, but you're on the path to get higher, but there's a gap in there too. And so to actually keep it real and raw, that's what's been real with Clinton for me. My growth as a professional is like, he also gives me the good and is straight up enough too. So it seems like that coach was very beneficial in that regard.
Yeah, that, and my parents too, you know, just coming from, like, they were both immigrants at one point, and then, you know, they kept working, you know, they got a house, you know, my mom works at a hospital. She's got a good paying job, and then my dad opened up his shop with his brothers. So just seeing their progression as well, you know, just keeps me motivated to keep going and to not get comfortable, and, you know, keep
is that the mechanic shop?
Yeah, it's a mechanic shop.
I didn't know how you...
Yeah, shout out to Primo's Auto Repair.
Let's go.
Come give me a visit. I'll do your oil change.
Let's go. Let's go.
So can you talk about a failure setback that you can think of that, like, really got you through to that next step?
Yeah. I would say my first loss, you know, that was a tough one. Just because a lot of people thought I won. I thought I won. But I hadn't lost in, I don't know, a couple of years, you know, since I moved back. Since 2019, I hadn't lost.
Oh, wow.
So, and I was finishing people, and then, you know, I lost a split decision, and that one was, it took some time to get myself back together. Kind of, not really, but, you know, it showed in the next fight that I got to finish. But, yeah, that one did sting a little bit, you know?
Yeah, especially when, like, you really thought that you won too.
Yeah,
it's like, it's kind of like, what did I do? Like, how can I show them that I'm there?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not regulated
like,
too.
You want to feel bad, but then, like, dude, I kind of won, but then you're like, now I got a loss on my record.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but other than that, I mean, I brushed it off and, you know, came back, and
there's nothing you can do. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's crazy though, the mindset though, and I'll tell you, one of the things that we talk about is the Adesanya, and when he lost that fight to Strickland, I told Albert, I said, that broke him. When you get so used and you're riding so high for so long, you get this feeling of being untouchable.
Yeah, exactly.
And no disrespect to him, no love loss. I'm not being disrespectful, but you can tell when some people, they can't shake it off, and it creeps in their mind. And with this next fight with Dricus Duplessis, it was kind of similar. Albert asked me, and I said, man, it's hard because do I think skill-wise Duplessis can be Adesanya?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I had zero thoughts of that.
Yeah.
But the mind is such a crazy thing.
Yeah.
That one loss, you get a shot or you get hit, and it makes you start second guessing. In the moment you second guess at that level,
exactly.
It's lights out. Yeah.
So who are your now that you've talked a little bit about your setbacks and stuff like that too, I want to talk more about your successes. Who was someone that you really looked up to along this process, like either mentors or like leaders that helped you really guide you along the way on your journey?
For sure my parents, you know, but also, I mean, all my coaches, you know, I've had coaches, a lot of coaches throughout wrestling and MMA as well, you know, and you know, just attribute to them, you know, learning from them, and then learning from my other teammates' careers, or even, you know, what was I going to say? Professional athletes at another level, you know. I try to study them and take stuff from them and put it into me. And so pretty much, everybody, you know, I try to take bits and pieces. Yeah.
Is it get overwhelming trying to do too much of like influencing someone? Was there someone specifically that like you're like, this is what I want to do because you had the wrestling background? And stuff like that to do?
No, I couldn't say someone specifically. Other than like my parents, you know, like just seeing how they leveled up in life, and you know they're still, you know.
So let me ask you, how would you, if we were to try to describe you to somebody, how would you describe your fighting style? And how do you think that kind of sets you apart from other fighters?
My fighting style would be, you know, I'm in your face, pressure. I'm gonna take you down if it's there. You know, I'm gonna hit you too. You're gonna hit me, but I'm still gonna keep coming forward. You know, and a finisher. You know, I'm always looking to finish you. So, I think that's Machete style. You know? Jump in time. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I definitely think that sets you apart because you are just a pressure, like fighter. And a lot of guys now have become so, I'm going to sit back and kind of fill it out the first round, or hey, I'm going to sit back and kind of try to figure it out. And when you have somebody on you like a pit bull on a stake,
exactly.
It's like one of those things. So I think that's what really sets you apart is your pressure and your constant pressure that elevates you to that next level.
Yeah.
So I was curious, you talk a lot about your family in this. How specifically, you know, they helped bring you up through being immigrants and stuff like that, and then helped you along the way working at the mechanical shop. Like, how do they support you now that you're in your career?
Dude, they've been supporting me this whole time. You know, I mean, and they still do. You know, they're there at any local fight they can go to. You know, they understand my training sessions as well. But yeah, I mean, they've been helping me out tremendously, you know, and it makes fighting easy and just, you know, living life easy. Yeah,
it's cool how supportive they are too. Sometimes I know last time we talked a little bit how like sometimes parents aren't always buying into it when they think you're gonna get hurt and stuff like that too. Like obviously you're still their son, right?
Exactly.
So it's hard to watch them get hit, but I mean obviously with your record you've been successful and you haven't had any real damage.
Things,
So it makes it a lot easier too from there.
So digging a little bit deeper, how do you deal with because you're very calm and laid back, but we all have emotional highs and lows, right? I actually watched Albert and his dad have a podcast that they do, and they were talking about yesterday about life not being all highs or whatever, and how you have to go through the ups and downs. How do you deal with the ups and downs of the emotion of training or with fights and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just kind of used to it by now, but yeah, you know, I sit down and reflect, you know, I talk to myself a lot, you know, but yeah, I mean, I just, you know, move on and adapt and keep going, you know. If to have a bad day or a bad training session, it's cool, you know. I mean, you're meant to lose in the gym, you know. And yeah, you know, just brush it off and get back to work, and that's it.
I like that.
So how do you, the word success gets thrown around a lot, especially because we have social media and stuff like that too. Everyone has their own definition and what that means to them. So if you were to talk about the word success to you, how would that look like if you were to see it throughout your career?
I think success is just, like I said, just checking off each goal on my notebook, you know, and but also not get comfortable with success. You know, you always gotta want to achieve more, always progress, and yeah, I think, I mean, yeah, having success is awesome, but you know, you can't dwell on it too much, and you know, you gotta keep going, you know.
It's easy to get wrapped in it too much. Everyone wants to feel that high, that rush, that adrenaline pump.
Like, I mean, you win a fight, it's cool, you have the amazing feeling for like a day or two, maybe a week, but then, you know, after that it's gone, you know? Like, dude, it's over, you know. Like, it's now working towards the next one.
They have so many fights set up with so many promotions that there's so much that if you get caught up in thinking, like after like you said, 2-3 days, they're having the next fight, and then it's
been there, done that.
It's forgot. It's not like old school where there were like one fight a month. So for like that month, you could sit back and be like, hey, you know, on top of the world. Now it's like a day, two, and you better jump back in the gym or, you know. So how important is your relationship with the fans, and kind of what would be the best way if somebody was going to become a fan of yours? What would be the best way to kind of engage and learn about Richie Miranda?
Probably social media, but I mean, people hit me up, and I mean, I talk to them. You know, I'm pretty communicative, or I communicate with a lot of my fans and just you know, supporters, sponsors. So yeah, you know, I'm easy to talk to.
Yeah,
so,
it's helpful that you're local too in Santa Ana too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Anybody wants any questions, just hit me up on Instagram.
And we'll drop his Instagram down there. Shout out. How do you hope to give back to your community or inspire others through your journey with MMA?
Definitely.
Because I know, especially you know, talking to you and Danny, Santa Ana especially is close to you guys' hearts, and so kind of going from there, kind of the question.
Yeah. I mean, definitely just, I guess maybe, you know, having like, I mean, coaching was a big one for me too. When I was coaching the high school, you know, I was giving back. So even now, I'll still go to my junior college, go help them out, you know, go visit them. Even when I'm out in Nebraska, I go see my coaches, you know, go train with the team. So yeah, you know, I'm always down to give back or talk to people or, you know, coach them or, I mean, maybe in the future, you know, I can, you know, speak like public speak or, you know, just do things for the city. Yeah.
Because definitely loyalty is something I don't ever doubt with you. And it's weird because, you know, I have a lot of people that come in and out, and it's like one of those things that when you have real ones, you have real ones.
Yeah.
And you and Danny kind of are that for me. So, you know, it's super dope to, you know, we can collab on some stuff in the future.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about before, my kids are in Santa Ana. So Santa Ana has a very special place to me, and Albert lives in Santa Ana.
Yeah,
so,
it's perfect.
So it's a perfect thing to help kind of build up the community so we can kind of do something in the future.
Yeah, keep the kids out of trouble, and, you know, give them avenues that can keep them in school, and, you know, sports is a big thing now. So
yeah, and it's so easy to just do it.
And seeing somebody come from your, because it's easy to always tell kids, hey, just pay attention in school and eventually you'll get somewhere, and hey, but at some point kids don't really even kind of register that.
It's hard, you know.
Well, and so honestly, so I kind of use you and Danny kind of with my kids. That's so like, I'm like, hey, like my daughter the other day was like, oh, I don't want to do my homework. And I'm like, hey, look. These are people, like these people work very hard. They're from here. They kind of went, you know, if you pay attention and you do the things, you have better chances in life to make bigger things happen. And they're kind of like, oh, they're famous and they're this and they're that. And I'm like, yeah, you can be that same thing. You just have to put in the work, pay attention and do the things that you're supposed to be or do, and not get caught up in what, you know, the crowd is, because we become it's such a slippery slope for kids these days with technology, with things that they see. A lot of them have become so numb to the real world because they see Roblox and they see all of this stuff. And like, I have to tell my kids sometimes, like, this isn't Roblox. You don't get another life. You know, you don't get this, you don't get this, you only get one. And you got to make it be what it is for you to be successful.
Definitely got to adapt and overcome, you know. And I'm a true believer of anything you do, you know, whether it be your job or your business, as long as you put in the work, it's going to pay off eventually.
You know? Success is inevitable once you do the right thing.
Exactly.
It's
become a habit. Doing the right things becomes a habit. And when you have a habit of doing the right things eventually happen. Now that doesn't mean you're not going to go through failures. You're going to go through peaks and valleys, because, you know, God intends for us to go through those peaks and valleys so that we like appreciate the highs, you know, with that.
Yeah, exactly. And it takes me back to my my Santa Ana coach saying like you can do all things right and you can still lose, you know, but it's like you're saying, God puts those trials and failures to us so we can, you know, to test us, adapt and overcome, and you know, you become
the person that you are.
Yeah, exactly.
And being loyal to God and ultimately being loyal to yourself.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem. A lot of people aren't loyal to themselves. And that's when you start getting the thought processes off. You start, you know, thinking, oh, maybe I'm not good enough for this. Maybe I can't make it. Maybe that makes stress and whatever. So
yeah. Good. Yeah, I was gonna say thank you so much for stopping by. It's awesome to have you back in studio. It's epic, and the fact that you come off with an electric victory, just making it that much more sweeter and stuff like that too. So, if anytime you want to come back, we'd love to have you again, and maybe we can get Danny and Chris and the rest of the crew on here as well too.
I'm super stoked. Next time we're gonna have next time we'll have you on either for the LFA title. Or we're gonna have you on Dana White Contender Series. I'm gonna speak that into evolution.
Right, short notice.
Whatever it is, it's bound to happen. I believe it. I'm putting it out into the universe.
Thank you.
That it will happen, and I appreciate you for coming on. And if you ever need anything, like you know, we're here for you. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me, and you know, it's always great here chopping it up with you guys.
Chopping time.
But one thing, last time you guys asked me favorite fighter, you guys put me on the spot. I said GSP, but I have to go with DP, Dustin Poirier.
Dustin Poirier. All right.
You know?
I like that you remember that.
I went home and I was just like, damn, I was like, I told my girl too, I was like, they asked me, and then I was like, I was on the spot, and nothing at GSP, he's great, but I was like, I forgot to say Dustin Poirier for some reason.
It's because of the guillotine, huh? He's always trying for it.
Shout out Dustin Poirier. We'll drop him on there. We're also gonna put your link to your Instagram on there. Guys, if you're not following him, go follow him. You'll thank me later.
He's also got some pretty good merch too on the website. I was looking up on there too.
Hell yeah. Hit me up.
No doubt. We appreciate you guys, and we are signing off. Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you.